What's going on? I had a decent amount of work to do today, but caught a little rain this morning. Stuff a little wet out. So one job. Take a peek at my sod that I put down. Me and my son a few weeks ago. Some Bermuda. It was rooting pretty good. It was dormant when I put it down. Still transitioning out of dormancy. But got a little decent day ahead. I got too much going on. I was up early this morning. Had to get my son to school. I got to take my daughter to school today as well. Wife had to be to work early. And trying to make sure I stay the course today. I did get my list finished out like I wanted to yesterday. This morning, I had a decent amount of stuff to do on the computer. Sent out a pretty decent sized quote. Hopefully I can get some feedback on it. Probably by the end of the day. I'm cool if they respond by Monday. I let people think when I send out the quotes. I'm not too antsy. I send a lot of them out, so it's almost like me gambling and saying I'm putting everything on red. Nah, that's not how I do it. I just price it out accordingly. This property, not to say I dropped my price to get the job, but came in at a fair market price. I'm plugged in a little bit, so a lot of the places locally, if you get like some of the zoysia grasses, right? Zoysia grass is the most costly than like centipede, Bermuda, and St. Augustine. And I called a few of my farms to try to get an estimate on the, how much it's going to cost me, material cost as far as the sod. It's 29 pallets. I was roughly around 11,000, and that's just for the sod. That's not even including the 2 trucks that got to come, delivery fee. So roughly around almost $12,000 for zoysia grass. So had the price out of irrigation system. It was roughly around, I think it ended up being around 10,000. That's I believe a 7-zone system. Yeah, 7-zone system. So the job quote is a little bit over 30,000. Keep my fingers crossed on it. Been doing pretty decent at closing my jobs, and this is one of them. I'm hoping turn around. In the meantime, I sent out another one, roughly around I think it was like 4K. It's a smaller job, but one I wouldn't mind doing. Figured out a little something that helped me out. Got a little bit of a leg up. I don't know if other people in my area don't know about all the sod farm that's available, but I do. And it's one that I work with that their prices are significantly different than any other farm around. But I'm gonna let that play in my favor, so I'm able to actually run a better pricing based on market value. So if I go to one place in Zion, Georgia, like a super sod, and their sod is like almost $500 a pallet. I think it's like $480 if you get 1 pallet. Of course, when you get more, I think it bring it down to like, I think you can get it in high $380 maybe if you get a bunch of them. But it's usually pretty costly. On Zion, Georgia. Another place is over for like $450. Like all of them in the 400s for when it comes to Georgia. So I think that's really costly. But it's a premium turf type, so what you expect. So I was crunching my numbers today and I think I'm coming in at a really good price point. I think the value of how my proposal look is what usually get the people to want to work with me. And I lay everything out when I'm on a property. When I'm talking to the customer on the property, you only get one chance to make your first impression, and I make sure I set the bar, set the line, and let them know, hey, you got the right one. Whether you want to pay me or not, it's up to you. But you got somebody that has character and integrity and gonna see the project through. And I did take one of my mentors' advice and go ahead and implement my treatment programs. So typically, like, I don't know, I ain't did all my research on my competitors to know what exactly are they offering when it comes to sod installation. But for me, I know a lot of sod is a perishable product, meaning it can go bad if you don't take care of it. So people don't like warranty sod or nothing like that. But me, however, when I sell a client on a sod installation job, I treat the lawn for 3 months after 90 days. So the goal is to make sure they don't got no insects invading on the lawn, making sure it gets fertilized properly, it's getting irrigated properly. I'm checking in to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do for this lawn to establish. And if they got like a shaded area and they got some St. Augustine or Zorgia, making sure it got a fungicide and the time needed, depending on when it's installed and stuff like that. But making sure it's being properly treated and it established within those 90 days. I've changed it up a little bit. I increased my price on my install because I feel like my customers love it. They absolutely love that I don't run for the hills after doing a large project. Like, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna see you next week. I'll see you next month. Like, I ain't running for the hills. That reoccurring, that network, that relationship building, I think is really important to the client, knowing that you're not just trying to level your pockets and get on, which is not a bad thing. Do business is business, but I choose relationships and the quality of my workmanship over just running for the hills. And I think that right there transitions to more referrals. So I've implemented staying with my customer for a year. I got them on my annual plan, just baking it into my pricing. So I increased my price for that reason. So now when people reach out, and they get their quotes, it's already baked in. And I think that longevity is going to help me build up my weed control like I want to. And it's just, to me, it's a double perk. Like, I'm doing something I desire to do, and I'm doing something that that complements where I'm going. So two things: it's landscape and it's lawn care. It's both. Got a low ticket reoccurring, and I got my high ticket. I think they balance out. One is annually, as far as even throughout the slow months, I'll still be treating to an extent, like fall applications and things like that, maybe winter weeds. So I like that piece of it. So I'm gonna stay locked in on that and continue to grow. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a decent little plan, just mapping it out as I go, because it's one of those things where I feel like you gotta jump out of parachute or you jump out of airplane and figure out the the parachute on your way down. That's my personality. I'm gonna commit first. I figure out the rest down the road. Like, everything that you're typically worried about that's gonna happen, as far as it ain't gonna work out, you'll never know, will you, until you try. And when you try, the thing that you thought was gonna happen probably never do. More than likely. It's just some people have that scarcity. And I take risks. Been a risk taker for a long time. It's right here. It's right here. This is easy. Been a risk taker for a long time. This is easy. But I'm gonna get going, y'all, because I gotta get my daughter out of here. Get her behind off the high school Need to get up behind that car. And I gotta buy that wife a car. Gotta map that out. She's becoming a young adult. Cars and things like that becoming a thing. But yeah, I'm finna see what the day pan out like. I got some places to run, rip and run, get some things done. Gotta do I got some aerations on the schedule for the day. I think timing is still decent right now. It's not too cool. All the grass is green for the most part. I look like a couple lawns that haven't did any type of mowing. Anybody who haven't mowed in my area, their lawn is the ones that's showing a little bit of dormancy still. But for the people who already started mowing and pushing that root system of the grass to grow, they're already green. Like almost everybody's green right now. From the Centipede, Bermudas to Georgia, St. Augustine, all of them pretty much green right now. But I did a property yesterday. Oof. Man, I'm excited to see how it turned out because he had a salad bar. I'm talking about whatever weed you can think of, it was there. At least for warm season grasses. But I'll be following up and showing y'all some videos because I took a before video. I'm gonna probably piece them together after I revisit because I want y'all to see how many weeds I dropped with that application. I had a 3-way application, something to knock out the grassy weeds, sedges. And then I also had a use change up. I want to see how it's gonna play out. And I use it at the high rate, because I ain't got time to be looking like no fool. I need this thing to work. But let me get to it, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'll be touching base with y'all later on.